When we talk about creating sacred space in the spiritual, the witchy, the metaphysical world, we think about crystals and candles and cauldrons and herbs and all of those beautiful, delightful, sort of tangible objects that we can use to create a feeling, a an environment that feels connected and sacred to us. But sacred space is so much more than that, and so much of what is sacred space we overlook every day because it feels hard. We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. Today, we're talking about sacred space and creating sacred space as an active future visioning. And I love this topic. I love talking about how we can apply the ideas that we carry with us in our attachment to everything magical and apply them to our lives in a pragmatic way. I also love future visioning work. And I am not a person who attaches regularly to specific outcome. I really am lunar intention, lunar feeling based. Like, what would feel like success? What do I want to feel like? That's where I focus mostly. I'm not really a solar goals kind of person. And so when it comes to future visioning, for me, it's how do I want to feel? What do I want? What's the energy that I want to embody in my daily life? And the thing about this act of creating sacred space is that we look at it in as this like separate thing that we have to do. We have to create sacred space for something. But there is nothing more sacred than your daily life. There is nothing more sacred than you and what it is that you are doing each and every day of your life, how you're moving through the world, your experience in the world. These are the most sacred pieces of your energy because they are always present. You create like a crystal grid and then you leave it to go to work or to go to the grocery store or go on vacation or whatever. Your energy is with you all the time. And these pieces that you are just surrounded with energetically, I mean, that is where we want to also create sacred space. And with the same love and care and tenderness that we apply to the act of creating a sacred space for a full moon tarot reading or a ritual, why aren't we applying that to our daily lives? And the folks that I know who really look at their life, their energy, their words, their thoughts, like these regular daily bits that we all experience, the folks who are looking at those elements as sacred space, they are the ones whose lives, their cups are simply overflowing and they feel utterly amazing in the experience that they are here to have, even when things are hard, right? Even when things are hard. So, today I want to talk about three different ways to create sacred space to support your future vision, however that is for you. Again, mine's more of an embodiment, a way of being, a way of feeling, an essence that I want to carry with me throughout the day. So for you, you might have a specific, like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to move. Yours might be more like a goal where you can check it off the list. For me, it's very feelings based. And I will share that this some of this creating sacred space I'm going to talk about today can feel really challenging. And that's where all, tools like shadow work and working with your energy centers to rewrite your stories, getting to know yourself with tarot, leaning on the nurturing energy of the rhythm of the moon can support you on your journey as these reminders that you're not alone and there are these supportive tools and energies available to you to help you as you move forward. So, for me this year, and I'll tell you how this has been challenging for me, even as the person who, I do this and I walk my talk. And I think this is a lot of the reason why my life feels very full and amazing, even though there's a lot on my shoulders, the weight of the world on my shoulders every day, is because I do treat my life like sacred space, but it's not always easy. So this year in particular, one of the things I really struggle with is assertive communication, or I think I think that if I have grown leaps and bounds this year on this. But I typically in the past, I don't want to upset people. I don't want them to feel hurt. I don't like confrontation. I will bend over backwards to sort of make things comfier for other people or easier on other people. And this year has been a real flex of my assertive communication skills and sort of holding the line no matter what comes my way and no matter how uncomfortable conversation on the other end came to be. And in doing this, I have really seen the benefits of, you know, creating energy for myself and connections that are sacred space, because when we are true to ourselves and we hold true to ourselves, that is an energy that we are putting out into the world to get more of what's true to us and what's in alignment with us for the future. And people around us see it and respond to it. And in that very practical way, we're creating relationships and experiences and opportunities that we want to be having through how we present ourselves. So again, for me, some of this is challenging too and has been a work in progress. So that I'll start with this first one. The first way that you can create sacred space for future visioning in your daily life is with the words that you say. There's people say it all the time that words are the spells of the universe. Words are the spells we're casting every day. And you know what? It is so true. And in my experience, this has been one of the hardest ones because I really have struggled to feel heard for most of my life or feel validated. And it's taken a lot of inner work to validate myself and find value in knowing my worth innately and not having to be validated by others. And that has changed the words that I use, though. So rather than speaking in a way that's like, see me, hear me, look at me, I speak in a more confident, assertive way, and I use words and sentences and phrases that allow me to communicate in relationships that in a way that drives the future of that relationship, and the way that I present myself to other people. Also, this assertive communication and working on communicating clearly, assertively, and really holding my boundary and also speaking for my needs and my truth and what's not within a boundary and not kind of caving under somebody else's emotional turmoil over the conversation. Uh, that has really helped to cast a future. I've seen just in like 9 months of working on this heavily that so many things in my life that were a pain in my butt 9 months ago are no longer an issue. And it's creating that sacred space through the words that I use. So the words you're speaking, treat them as sacred space. Pause. When you create a crystal grid, you slow down, you pause, you connect to the energy of the crystal before you place it on the grid. When you pull your tarot cards, you pause to connect to them, you shuffle through them. How can you do that with the words that you're speaking on a daily basis? How can you turn your words, your sentences, the things you're putting out into the ethers for other people to receive as sacred space? Your words, treating them as sacred space, like this energy, just imagine them floating all around you in this beautiful bubble of sacred space. They are creating your future in a big, big, big way. What you're putting out there verbally is very much impacting your future. And so looking at them with the same reverence, using the same pause, the same reverence to choose what you're going to say and why, pausing and then holding your words, as truth for you, holding the boundaries that you set, casting the future of relationships, of communication, of what you desire, what you need, how you need support, how you view yourself in the world, using your words to create sacred space and help you cast the future into being that you desire to be living in. So your words are a big one. And like I said, I have struggled with that, and I communicate all the time. So it's not an issue of clarity of communication for me. It's an issue of emotional communication and also being assertive. Often, if something was going askew, for example, I had someone in my life who was sort of never really doing what I asked. And it was a work relationship. So, I'm the boss, and it's like, well, this is what the outcome was supposed to be. This was the desired thing that was supposed to have happened, and there was always like reasons, oh yes, like I was going to get to it, or just on this day, or oh well, I kind of thought, or like, oh, I did it, but it must have got lost in the Google Docs or something. And I would always just kind of be like, okay, well, let's just try to get it for next week. Meanwhile, my energy is feeling very deflated in that situation, right? So for me to practice this assertive communication of, well, no, it was due today at 2, and this was the expectation. So I need it today by 3, since it's now 2, and that was the expectation. And then holding the line. And that took so much practice for me. But in doing this, creating that sacred space with my words, like my whole life has basically changed just from treating my words, my boundaries, and my assertive communication as sacred. All right. So that was one. The second one that is challenging for a lot of us for a lot of reasons is to treat our bodies as sacred space. So again, I mean, if you are a person who creates like nature mandalas, or if you create altars for the seasons and you're collecting, like right now it's fall, so you're collecting acorns or pine cones or pine needles, and maybe just like making this beautiful connected nature mandala or altar, you are choosing these things with reverence. But we don't treat ourselves with reverence, you know? We will grab the bag of Doritos and just like house the whole thing in 2 seconds flat, and that is not treating ourselves with reverence. Now, don't get me wrong, I am an ice cream gal. I love ice cream. I love ice cream. I'm overly caffeinated most of the time. So, I'm not here to be the, like, food patrol and what you put in your body, but I would invite you to consider, how are you treating your body as sacred space? Do you feel great in the clothing that you wear? Do you feel amazing, or is it a little too big or a little too small, and so you feel totally uncomfortable in it? Or are you feeling like you're trying to put yourself into, a business suit when you want to be wearing a graphic tee and bell bottoms? Like, I don't know, what is going on there? So how you adorn yourself, how you show up in the world, and also how you treat your body. Are you consuming things and putting things in your body that make your energy feel like sacred space? Your body, you can do all the manifesting work in the world, but if your body is in distress, it is very challenging to enjoy the life that you're living. And I can relate to this firsthand. I've had in the past few years lots of different issues. A few years ago, I had diverticulitis issue, and it was really, really challenging to not do things I normally would and change things for myself. And I also struggle with fatigue because of the kind of anemia that I have. And it's can be a challenge for me to want to do movement, but I also know that my body feels better when I move. I know that my energy is actually higher when I move. And this is my personal experience again. And so I have to ask myself, if my energy is sacred space, what can I do right now to amplify the energy I want to amplify and create the future that I want to create? So, this is again about sacred space as future visioning. So, we're looking at today, how do we treat ourselves in such a way and hold this space sacred that we're casting this future vision and calling it into being? So in my future vision, I desire to feel like free, like I can get out of my car on the side of the road and go hike a mountain because I stumbled upon this hiking trail that looks amazing and beautiful and promises waterfalls. And I want to be able to do that. So today, how am I treating my energy with as sacred space, my body as sacred space, to help align me with that? Another example of my own life, I'm a person who gets dressed every day, come hell or high water, whatever the weather is, whatever's going on. I get up, I get dressed, and that is just me. I'm not saying you need to do that. But for me, I know that I feel significantly better and my energy is higher when I have showered and gotten dressed for the day. And so when I'm thinking about my future vision for myself, and it might be a lazy Sunday or Saturday or whatever, but I know that come Tuesday, I have this very full day, all these things to do. So, what's it going to take for me today to treat my body as sacred space so that I am in the energy to do what I need to do to set myself up for success in the week ahead? And then doing that again and again and again also allows me to align to the future vision that I want to have. So it's similar. Like we would not take, you wouldn't take like a grubby, rotten uh piece like crab apple from the side of the road with flies and bugs on it and put it on your sacred space. Like, you wouldn't do that. You'd be like, what am I manifesting here? Zombies. This is not the energy we're here for. Yet we will treat ourselves. We'll just like be like, oh, whatever, whatever. I'm good. I don't care what everything is like. And it's not about caring. It's about how you feel and treating yourself as sacred space to align to the future you desire to have. The third thing, and I struggle with this one also, is your home as sacred space. Your home and your home is one giant altar. It is one really big altar. So you have all of this space, all these surfaces, you've got your front door, like everything about your home is one big altar. And how we treat our home energy is really aligning us to again, future casting, future vision. What kinds of, how do we want our seating in our home set up? Do you, in your future vision, do you have, relationships with people in your home? Are you cultivating community in your home? Or are you a person who, is an extreme minimalist and you're like, I need nothing. I want the smallest house ever. And how are you treating your home as sacred space to align to your future vision? And do you look around and feel the energy of your future vision and using your home as a bridge to get you there? So just again, the same as you would, so many people treat their tarot cards and different crystals with such reverence. They've got these beautiful shelves and they wrap them in this beautiful cloth. But when it comes to every other element of our lives, we're like, oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter. And maybe it doesn't matter in the sense that you don't care what other people think, which is perfect. Like, that's amazing. And also, does it feel the way you want it to feel to connect to the future you want to be living? So, your home is sacred space, your body is sacred space, your words are sacred space, and they are casting your future at every single turn. And this energy that we put into treating all of our magical tools as sacred, how can we use that energy to treat our words, our bodies, and our homes as sacred to help us align with the energy of where we want to be? So when we look around, we say like, yes, this body is the body that can connect to the future I desire to be living. This home is setting the scene every single day to support me in the future I desire to be living. The words that I'm saying are cultivating the relationships, creating the boundaries and the space for the future I desire to be living. And even if your future is just more of what you have, like maybe you're on the verge of retirement and you're just like want to settle into retirement. Again, is all of this aligned with that? Maybe you're somewhere right now and you want to do a total 180 on your life. Are you aligned with that? Where I am right now is amazing and it's beautiful and I love it. And I'm in such a great place. And also, I want I want more. I want to create, freedom for my kids. I want to help be able to send them off into an amazing adulthood. Things that I didn't have, I want to be able to give to them. And so how do I keep aligning to these desires? How do I keep aligning to them? And how do you keep aligning to them? So your words, your body, and your home as sacred space is one way to do that. All right. If you love this discussion, be sure to listen back to past episodes of Expedition to Soul. Come hang out with us in our courses, our program. Grab your free digital Stay Magic magazine. Always lots of tips there to connect you seasonally to whatever is going on. And if you want to sneak into our Holistic Witchery program where we can help you with all of this, just hit us up via email and we'll help you. We'll slide you in. All right then. So, home, body, words. Create sacred space, y'all. And until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If there's any topics you'd want to hear, anything you want us to dive deeper into, shoot us an email at magic@thesistersenchanted.com. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.